Wow, it is Tuesday, August 15th, and what a freaking day. Oh my God, our morning show at 9 a.m. for our VIPs was spot on accurate. Oh my gosh. We got to get to IWM in the banks. We talked about that this morning, and I told you my worry about the QQQ and the IWM and the markets, really instigated by what's going on in the banking sector in China. I talked to you about that worry, and that's happening. It looks like it's happening. The markets are just trash. The indices are terrible. We're shorting some banks. But man, we are doing excellent. Our top 3 picks of the day, what were they? QUIK, in this order: QUIK, VTSI, LLAP. Our top 3 picks of the day. We're going to go through each of them. All right, tell you why we made them our top 3 picks and what else may be to come. And we're having fun today, so we'll try to stay a while. Spread the word. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll get to them. But help us spread the word about what we do. This has just been amazing. So look, the whole idea about story trading is we can predict price action by looking at stocks in a multidisciplinary fashion, looking at stocks holistically, taking into account fundamentals, catalysts, and sentiment, and then basically making a judgment of what is the price action going to do. How are the technicals going to break? Are they going to hold? Right, based on our analysis of fundamentals, catalysts, and sentiment, and we're looking same day. Why do we believe that's even possible? Because we believe markets are efficient. And when you have a delta of information, you have a delta in price. That's the whole process and the whole thesis behind story trading. Let's start. You know what? Let's go to the banks first. Let me talk about what I talked about this morning just to catch up, because I know if you're not in our stocks, you may be having some pain. So let's talk about what we talked about this morning. All right, first we got to talk about just the indices real quick. Okay, so RK and NASDAQ this morning, we talked about are very key important levels that could break down, right? We talked about how these key levels are both opportunities, but also very dangerous because it could be the precipice of a big flush lower if it breaks support. So RK so far is actually holding that key support at the 20-week moving average, and it was a double support with candle support here in this time period here from June 22nd, late June. So far that's holding up, but we have a couple other situations developing, probably with QQQ, definitely with IWM. So actually QQQ is holding up. It's barely trying to touch that 50 DMA. We need to close above that 50 DMA to get into a safety area. SPY, but we come to IWM, is really bad in a second. Okay, SPY touches the 50 DMA. This is getting dangerous. Okay, let's hope that's it. If we go below the 50 DMA on SPY today or tomorrow, look out below. It could look really ugly. You know, I'm going to take a peek at Apple in just 1 second. But IWM looking not good at all. Look at this. Look at this move below the 50 DMA. That is ugly. You know what else is ugly? Regional banks. And we talked about the catalyst this morning, the banking catalyst, why that's happening. Look at this. Beeline. It broke the 20 DMA. Beeline to the 50 DMA. There's a bunch of banks out there. One of them is Valley National. Huge put activity. Same chart as KRE. Making a beeline, I believe, to 888. And all of this, I think, the banking sector is what's putting pressure on IWM. Let's see how China's doing. KWeb. There's a lot of bad economic data out of China. So KWeb. Okay, it's not looking pretty either, but doesn't look as desperate as IWM or KRE. All right, so we have some hedges in place, but not a lot. We're mostly killing it today on our longs. And let's go back. Our number 1 pick was QUIK. But I have to tell you, if you're part of our app, storytrading.com/app, at around 11:20 a.m., I put an alert out. I said, LLAP is now the number 1 pick of the day. LLAP at the time was $1.19 or $1.20 percentage-wise from that moment. And I said, from this price at $1.20, LLAP is now your top pick over QUIK. So stay tuned for the big news that happened at 11 a.m. on LLAP. And we told you about that too. We said, we're going to reserve judgment. I got a small position in the morning, but I said, I'm going to reserve judgment until I listen to the conference call at 11 a.m. And then we just piled in, made it a top pick. We'll tell you why. Okay. But first, QUIK is really working. We piled in at $8. We told you about this at $8. We haven't sold a share yet. We gave you a target of $9.50, basically the 52-week high, and it looks like it's heading right over there. The price, the market, the aggregate opinion of the participants out there in the market validating the thesis we came up with right away. We're able to make this interpretation very fast from the conference call because we know what's important to this company. Anyway, last night of the conference call, They said they won this $15 million contract from the DoD, and it was not in a press release. Can you believe it? And there was no separate press release. Crazy. But more importantly, they guided for significant profit, substantial, I think is the word they use, substantial profitability. Second half of the year, they said, we're not talking a penny. We're not talking a nickel. You know, it's going to be more north of a nickel. Sounded like significantly north of a nickel in terms of EPS for Q3. But more importantly, they guided for sustained profitability through 2024. And you know the drill here. All right. When a company switches to profitability, especially if it's sustained profitability, that's your buy signal. And the situation today, right, on August 15th is much more clear now than it was back here in June when it went to 950. And that's why I think the stock should trade at least 950, because of the information today is much better than it was back then. Caveat, the markets aren't as good. All right. RK's down like over 15% in August alone. So, you know, there is a caveat in there. We can't maybe automatically assume it goes to 950 plus. But I got to tell you, we've been waiting for QUIK to flip to profitability. I think this is the first time in history they're going to be flipping to significant profitability and sustaining that through 2024. This is big, big news. Haven't sold a share yet. Got a significant position. Today, we established that at 8, but I kept on buying on the way up. I think I even bought some at 845, maybe even 850. So I'm looking for 950 plus on QUIK. Can this be like an air moment for it? Profitability, and I obviously it is. In terms of the market size, I don't know, right? There's a huge opportunity in this $72 million potential contract with the DoD. This is the next tranche of it is 15 million. I forgot the size of the first tranche, but this is the next tranche, 15 million. So it does have opportunity, I think, to go well beyond its 52-week high of 950, 970. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm probably going to be selling some as it approaches 950. Okay, as it approaches 950, probably going to be selling some because we're overweight right now. All right. Second pick of the day was VTSI. I didn't like this as much, but look, the headlines, they beat on the top and bottom line. And they had a really, really good development with the CEO. All right. They have a new CEO now. They had the CEO. It's the former chairman. I don't know if it was chairman of the board. Someone who was on the board who became CEO. His name is John Givens. He became co-CEO with Bob Ferris for a while, which is really odd. And now Bob Ferris stepped down. John Givens is the sole CEO. That's sentiment premium. All right. Take whatever you think about the quarter and add extra juice to it, because this is a positive development in terms of the investor sentiment towards now John Givens running the company. So we gave you that one this morning, and depending on your entry, maybe it was a little tough. I know I was buying at 7. So with the bid at 691, ask at 713, you know, we're not necessarily making some money. I think I bought a little more at 691, but this one I got an immediate target of 750 on it. Immediate, not necessarily today, like today, tomorrow, next couple of days, 750 at the 50 DMA. That's easy to see that. And then we'll see. I don't know the timeline. Was this news good enough to get a rapid re-rating to 850 plus? I'm not sure about that, but I think longer term, this is a great company, and this was a great catalyst to add more on. There's a great catalyst to mark a bottom, to mark a near-term bottom in the stock, and then working our way towards those 52-week highs. Again, don't know how long it's going to take. I think the move in QUIK is going to be much, much more rapid than the move in VTSI. We told you that this morning, and that's happening right now. Now, LLAP. I need a drink of water. This is beautiful. LLAP. We've been following this for a long time, so we really understand the sentiment behind what's going on. I've been talking to industry insiders too about the sentiment that's been going on. They have, let me see how short I can make this story. They have a $2.4 billion contract with Rivada, which is supposed to be paid throughout just a couple of years. The market cap's $194 million. Why is it so low? Because people think Rivada can't pay. All right. They think they're not going to get access to the financing. This is for a big satellite project. But what happened here? Today, the CEO was more specific than ever on the terms of payment. Basically, how much is Rivada paying them for the next tranche of work, when they're going to be paid. He specifically said here, $180 million will be paid in the second half of 2023. And the press release that came out last night, they said Rivada's current. They've made all their payments. And now they're guiding for 180 million just from Rivada. They had about 32 million in the quarter. In one quarter, 32 million. So let's see. Let's see if their run rate's like 60 million for the second half. They're saying their revenue is going to at least quadruple in the second half of the year. Their revenue is going to at least quadruple in the second half of the year. That's what they guided for. Very, very specific with the timing and the numbers. And you know what else they were specific about? They were specific about their confidence in the ability of Rivada to pay. So why is the market discounting this so much? They've been discounting this $2.4 billion contract so much because they don't believe that Rivada can get the funding for these contracts. Rivada has not publicly came out yet and said, we have our full $2.4 billion. However, LLAP was really pressed on this by the analysts today. They were really pressed, right? They said, how do you know Rivada's going to pay? One analyst asked. Another analyst said, there's investor concern about Rivada's ability to pay. So this was a great conversation that happened. And the way the CEO answered, has said this before, that they've done their due diligence, but he'd said, we can't tell you what we know. Okay, we've done our due diligence. We've looked at their financials. We can't tell you what they know. You have to get it from Rivada. It's not our place to tell you about their funding. Very specific. And then he hinted at, he basically said, like, just a reminder, Rivada is backed by Peter Thiel. Okay, I think that was a hint. I think that, oh, look, we just sold some APRN. I think we just sold some APRN here. Look at that. APRN. Beautiful. We had a limit order to sell some APRN. This thing's breaking out. I know Rex, we'll get back to LAP. So Rex had a target of 760. Honestly, I'm a little bit higher, man, but we are selling in light of the guidance Rex is giving here in like the mid sevens. Rex, man, the technician that we collaborate with. Multi-bagger potential. And now Rex is looking for 760s. We're getting close to that, so we're selling some out here. But honestly, this is a stock that could go to $20, $30, $40 within the next 12 months. So we have to look about making sure we keep a core position here because what's going on, very, very interesting. Okay, besides that, that's been a swing we've been in. So going back to LLAP and basically hinting at the Peter Thiel may be paying for this. And look, I just don't think this whole, look at this stock going down, 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 down. There's only one reason why it's going down, 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 down. Industry insiders and hedge funds believe Rivada is not going to come up with the money. And today's refutation was so specific and it was so confident. I don't think you can ignore that. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of inside info you think you have about Rivada, unless you think that the CEO of LLAP is committing outright fraud, right? And I don't think you can think that after today. And that's why I piled in at $1.20. And look at this. This thing's just been exploding. So if you're one of these hedge funds that were short because you're like, LLAP is not going to get the money, again, the only way you stay short is if you think LLAP is committing outright fraud and the CEO is lying to your face. That's the only way you can possibly stay short LLAP. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. We had too much specific information on the call today. You can see people who are on the conference call also didn't believe it. We've been straight up since 11 a.m. So now let's look at the technical levels. It bounced off the 20 DMA right here today. Bounced off the 20 DMA. Next resistance at the 50 DMA, $1.43. Tell you what, I haven't sold any yet. I think I'm holding it overnight. I think that the way that this was communicated was so specific and so confident in a way which was never done before that you're going to have hedge funds flipping. You're going to have some hedge funds flipping. You may have some analyst price target increases tomorrow. So I am predicting, this is what we do at StoryTrading. We don't automatically sell at resistance. We anticipate if something is going to break or hold. I'm anticipating a break of the 50 DMA. Maybe not today. Maybe people have to sleep on it. This happened in the middle of the day. There's no press release on it. There's probably no articles on it yet. People have to go and read the transcript tonight. I think you get another search tomorrow. I think you have some hedge funds covering tomorrow. I think you have some analysts upgrading tomorrow. So I'm looking for a break of the 50 DMA and then a move to 150 to 180. Okay, now I am overweight. So if this can happen, if we get rejected, we're in a good profit zone because we loaded up around 122 on average. Then, I'll end up selling before then. But right now, I'm holding and I'm waiting for this break of 150. Just as a reminder, those of you who have been with us for a long time, actually, let me put up the Link at the bottom. Oh, there it is. Watch pre-market prep daily. You can go to storytrading.com/app. Okay, those of you who've been, especially since the regional banking crisis, there has been major opportunities in smaller risk assets if and when they come out and say, oh, there's one more nugget I got to tell you about LAP. If and when they come out and say, we have enough cash to get to profitability without raising money, that causes years worth of returns in days or weeks. Okay, we've seen it over and over and over again since the regional banking crisis caused a lot of these stocks to be absolutely clobbered because void of access to capital and the cost of capital. Okay, and once they come and flip that story and say we don't need capital, the stock explodes. So another thing that happened on the conference call, an analyst specifically asked about that. Do you need any more capital? What's your cash flow forecast looking like? And the CEO came out and said, with our current access to capital, the current capital we have, we believe we're on track. If all the payments are on time from Rivada and their other partners, we will get to cash flow profitability in Q1 to Q2 of 2024 without requiring further capital. Later, he was pressed on this again. I don't know if it was the same analyst or a different one. And he specifically said, we want to avoid dilution, and we're trying to do that. And again, if everything plays out as it currently stands with the guidance, there will not be further dilution. He explicitly said that on the conference call, and that's one reason the stock is exploding. So we have like inflection style catalysts in QUIK and LLAP today, and VTSI to a lesser extent, I think, although VTSI really solid, really nice, right? And I think it's been an inflection. VTSI since last quarter, I think, really inflected that last quarter, and this just validates the story. You got the CEO changing, which makes you feel more comfortable about it longer term. So VTSI good, but it's not as they already had their big news. The big news today is QUIK and LLAP. Look at this. APRN. All right. APRN, let's just look at the levels. Look, yeah, Rex is at 760s. I don't know, man. I'm thinking 8. Just in case is right. I did say we did sell a little bit at 740s. I have to go. I want to end the show soon because I got to go manage that LAP at the apron position. I want to make sure we don't sell all of our shares. I want to hold on to some for that multi. Okay. What else do we have going? So look, we're doing awesome today. If there are any questions, now's the time. Put it up on Rumble. I see a bunch of people. Oh, look at that. Yes. Oh no, that's our one sub account. What are we overall? Okay, we're still up over 2% today, which is an amazing feat to be up 2% today when RK is down 1% and IWM is down, let's see how many percent, 1.2%. We're having a great day. This is a lot of fun. So now's the time to ask any questions. I'll just scroll through this a little bit more, little 30, 45 seconds, 60 seconds. Let me scroll through to see if there's anything else I forgot to tell you. And then now's your time to put questions in the chat. We got to get back to work. Make sure I save some of that apron. I don't want to sell those shares. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. All right. Nothing. We're holding Yatra. Okay. We're holding Yatra for about $4 target when the IPO is announced, the India IPO. Holding that. Okay. PSQH, we're still in this. We kind of got stuck in this, but we decided. Oh, more apron sold. I got to get out of here to check my limit orders on apron. I don't want to sell those apron shares. Okay, PSQH. We got in at like 1350. Initially, you can't see the whole chart here, unfortunately. Apron, the PSQH ran from like $10 to 35, and we're in for almost that whole move. You guys remember? You're with us. Okay, we re-entered around like 13, 14. We were looking for a move to 15 to 20. It didn't happen, but we decided to hold on, bear these losses. Because why? What we just talked about. The CEO came out in an interview. The day after earnings last week and said, we have enough cash to get to profitability. The stock started stabilizing and going up since then. Those are the magic words. So we're holding on to PSQH. By the way, the original reason we entered a second time was because we were looking for high publicity from Tucker Carlson, because they're going to be the very first advertiser on Tucker Carlson's X show, X being Twitter. Okay, on Tucker Carlson's X show, which happens, I don't know, occasionally in the weeknights. The very first advertiser will be Public Square PSQH in a 7-figure ad deal they did with Tucker Carlson. I'm waiting for that to get the second surge of PSQH towards 15 to 20 bucks. Okay. But gives me more confidence that the CEO says it can get to profitability with the cash they have on hand. It's been a glorious day, man. This is what we wait for. This is the thing. We put in years of work sometimes. I've been following QUIK for many, many quarters. VTSI for years I've been following. I've been on many, many conference calls. I've interviewed the CEOs. Same with LLAP. I've interviewed the CEO. I've talked to IR. I've been following this company for many, many, many months. Same with APRN. I've talked to investor relations there. I've been following this for many months. Same with QUIK, although I don't think I ever talked to the CEO of QUIK. We've been following this story for many, many quarters. So having this information enables us to make sense out of price action. Anyone who says the market is chaotic and doesn't make sense is inefficient, they're all completely wrong. The market is efficient. It's logical. It makes sense if you only go out and you seek the information, all right? And you try to understand that information through the prism of not only fundamentals, but also catalysts and sentiment and technicals. Because everyone out there in the market, they trade. Oh, man, we sold more at APRN. I got to go, guys. I'm selling too much APRN. I forgot what the limit orders were I put in. I got to go back and make sure we keep a little bit of APRN for the long term. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a little video about how story trading works and why it works. And we hope to see you on our app at storytrading.com/app. We have our show at 9 a.m. every morning. Plus, we have our own watch list and news feeds and lots of cool features we're building for our app. And with that, we will see you later. Where is my instructional video? Here it is, guys.
It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.